Seems our friends have gone deaf. Wake them up a little!
So many of you might have seen the hashtag Save Red Dead Online going around and been asking yourself what the hell is going on. Long-term subscribers of my channel probably saw this coming, as I did put up some videos last year explaining what was happening. But for many people, they had hoped that Rockstar were going to bring an update maybe in January or February, but I think it's hitting home with everyone now that Red Dead Online might be winding down. This is because Rockstar has been adding less and less content over the last 2 years, and they've been charging more and more for the little content that they do add. To keep the community somewhat engaged between the long waits for big DLCs, every week they would have a new bonuses and discounts and changes that people would log in to see what is going on. They used to also cycle in and out limited time clothing that people would be constantly keeping an eye on for the items that they want to return so they can spin gold on it, but they stopped adding them as well. On December, they did what I thought was the unthinkable, is they did not have a winter DLC for Red Dead Online. They also decided to have the same bonuses, discounts and whatever changes that would just be relevant for the entire month. For me, that was the writing on the wall of what was going to happen, but many fans held out hope that maybe, just maybe, there was delays because of the Grand Theft Auto Trilogy Definitive Edition mess that they were trying to clear up. And for those of you who don't know anything about Rockstar Games, yeah, Rockstar Games do not talk to their audience. Whoever's in charge of communicating with their customers just doesn't do it. So a lot of players were waiting patiently for the January event week, so we might get some idea of what Rockstar was going to do for 2022. And to a lot of people's surprises, it basically just stretched out a normal event week for the entire month of January, which made a lot of people realize Rockstar really doesn't care anymore about Red Dead Online. And those weekly event weeks were now monthly event weeks because they are winding down the online version. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of Twitter. I don't be on there a lot myself, but I have no doubt that Twitter is probably the only way you can even grab Rockstar's attention, which is why a huge amount of fans have gone to Twitter to vent their frustration and use the hashtag Save Red Dead Online. But for new players or people who don't know a lot about Red Dead Online or just curious what's going on, how did we get to this position? As a player and a content creator who has been going since the very first day we were able to even access Red Dead Online, I definitely have a longer term perspective on the game and its development to date. To access Red Dead Online, you just need to have purchased a copy of Red Dead Redemption 2, or you can purchase the standalone version, which they released back in December 1st, 2020. We don't really know how many copies of the standalone version are being sold, but we can find out from Take-Two's interactive investor calls that Red Dead Redemption 2 itself has sold 39 million copies to date. This is a huge number and a very successful franchise. And over 2021, it sold at least 1 million copies per quarter, which is extremely impressive. So to date, Red Dead Redemption 2 has sold 39 million copies. This was actually a prequel to the original Red Dead Redemption, and that itself sold a respectable 23 million copies. So as you can see, this is an incredibly successful video game franchise. So you'd imagine a Red Dead Online component would be pretty successful as well. Rockstar Games have already proved that they can create a very engaging and profitable online experience with Grand Theft Auto Online. So many people, myself included, thought they were just going to expand and diversify their online experiences by having Red Dead Online and Grand Theft Auto Online active and playable simultaneously. Obviously, there's going to be some people out there that will play both games, so they are kind of in competition with each other, but that was nothing that couldn't be offsetted by just careful project management and releases of DLCs, which didn't quite go well. The way Rockstar Games monetizes these online experiences is for Grand Theft Auto Online, what it'll do is it has a currency that you can make in the game by doing jobs, and if you just want to cut some corners and buy the things that you want fast, you can just purchase shark cards for real money. When it came to Red Dead Online, how they handled this was they have two different currencies. They have cash and they also have gold. Cash is very easy to make in Red Dead Online, and it'll purchase a lot of things for you, as like clothes and stuff, but it'll also get you like things you use every day, like ammunition or fast traveling or food. But gold, on the other hand, is their premium currency. It's not as easy to make gold in Red Dead Online these days, and you will need it if you want to purchase the roles that they have, which are kind of like their DLCs, or if you want to purchase some of the nicer clothing, weapons or customizations, you'll need gold. There's also a lot of things that are locked behind levels, and if you'd like not to bother leveling up your character and you just want those items now, you can just purchase them today for gold for a higher price. And if you don't want to spend that time grinding gold bars in the game, you can also bypass that by purchasing the gold bars using real world cash. The two-tier currency system is a little confusing and doesn't make a lot of sense, and might be one of the reasons that Rockstar struggles to monetize this game efficiently. It's also worth noting here that the pay structure that you get for doing anything in Red Dead Online is just in shambles. I mean, you'd imagine the faster you do a mission or something like that would mean that you could earn more quicker. But in Red Dead Online, they really do want you to waste your time. So if you bring back a bounty too early, you'll get paid less. To get paid the most amount of money for doing a mission, you're probably going to want to wait around half an hour. If you complete the mission in under half an hour, you get paid less. So essentially, the better you are or more efficient you are at playing this game, the less you are rewarded for playing this game. The pay structure alone has definitely driven away a lot of people that really enjoy this genre and this game, because you end up just waiting around for like 10 minutes or you feel like you're getting undercut from Rockstar. Also, if you do complete a mission, there's going to be a cooldown to replay that mission. It's usually around the 45-minute mark. So if you log on and want to do a few legendary bounties, basically you're going to grab a legendary bounty, bring them back, wait around to make sure you get paid enough and a fair price for dropping them in, and then when you drop them in, you have to wait around 45 minutes for when you can drop in another one. This makes absolutely no sense. At best, it just forces you to go and play a different type of game mode in Red Dead Online, and at worst, it just makes you get frustrated you can't play what you want to play, so you just turn it off and play something else. In the last DLC that they added back in 2021, they had like a mob-themed DLC where you would go around doing jobs for a mafia member, and you needed to earn a third currency called Capitali, where that would give you access to 3 missions that you could play. It was quite annoying and time-consuming to earn the Capitali, and if you didn't want to, of course, you can purchase them with gold bars instead. Of course, the number one problem with Red Dead Online is just the lack of content and things to actually spend gold bars on. Even at its peak, Red Dead Online had a very slow development cycle, which usually meant by the time they released some content that you could purchase, you already had way too many gold bars earned in the game. After a while, they kind of just stopped even creating new content, and we just started getting reskins of content that was already in there. And then after that, they just started bringing back some of the content they already released before. It was as if they just gave up on their player base, their existing player base, and just wanted to go out and find new players that they can sell all the content they sold to the existing player base, and just milk as much cash as they can from the assets that they had already created without creating anything hugely new. But for Red Dead Online to be successful, it needed to be nurtured from Rockstar the same way they nurtured Grand Theft Auto Online. I mean, it is a live service, therefore it needs to be serviced throughout the year by releasing DLCs to keep all of the community engaged. So let me take you down the trail of the history of Red Dead Online and tell you how I and the community experienced a lot of these updates. When Red Dead Online did launch, it launched in beta on November 27, 2018. It had a lot of bugs and was definitely not the easiest to play. Rockstar quickly put up a patch on December 11 to try to address some of these bugs. Then the following year in January, they released Gunrush, which could have been fun if they could control the teaming. February saw them address a lot of issues and really listen to the community. We also got the daily challenges in that update, which was probably the best way to retain customers. We then got another small title update in March, followed by one in May, which gave us Mrs. Leclerc's story mission continuations and officially brought Red Dead Online out of beta. It was still riddled with bugs. Another small update to finish off May, and then probably the best update we've ever got, Frontier Pursuit. There was still a lot of bugs in the game, but it actually felt like Red Dead Online was going somewhere. They had a plan, and we could see it getting better. We even got the legendary bounties the same month that year. In November, it was released on PC, which brought in a lot of new players as well as modders. The Moonshiner role was dropped in December, which was okay, a bit broken, and was released the day before GTA Casino Heist, meaning a lot of players just played that. wasn't really until January players started coming back to even try out the Moonshine role, a horrible misstep in project management, but they spent January and March fixing bugs and trying to get the game playable. In July they released the Naturalist role, which a lot of people didn't like. I thought it was okay as I really enjoyed the legendary animals they added. It was also the most stable the game had ever been in its life until they added patch 1.21, which completely broke the game and they actually had to roll the patch back in 1.22. The title update 1.23 included the Halloween update. Players were already a little disappointed from the Naturalist role, so when we got a small little bounty hunter update in December, people started to lose faith. It was then a long time up till July until we got another update, and a lot of players were waiting for a big update. They've been waiting for a big update since Frontier Pursuits, and it just wasn't delivered. I personally liked the Blood Money update as well as the Bounty Hunter update, but there's no denying that these updates are getting much smaller and less frequent. A lot of people, although not overly happy about the Blood Money update, were still excited for a winter update in December 2021, but it just never came. This was a huge blow to the community, and I thought basically it was painting the writing on the wall for then, but it wasn't until January 2022 when people realized that Rockstar was no longer interested in Red Dead Online, as they posted a roadmap for January which was basically nothing. It's essentially what used to be a weekly update, but it's going to be going on for the entire month. They brought back 7 items of clothing that are apparently limited, meaning you can only buy them through the month of January now, which honestly, considering they're going to leave them up there for a month and not switch them off every week, is kind of saying that they're not interested in trying to make any more money off Red Dead Online. Someone probably came into work on Monday and they were given a few hours to make a roadmap for Red Dead Online for January, and that's just what they did. Red Dead Online standalone is still on sale and it is costing about $20, I think, so it's not that cheap. But I do think Rockstar wants to make it look like they are still servicing the game for any potential new customers who might be on the fence about buying it. But the majority of content that people are going to be playing was released back in 2019. I mean, 4 of the 5 roles that are in the game were released back in 2019, then the Naturalist role came in 2020. The Blood Money did offer a lot of cool free content for customers, I guess, though, in 2021. But it wasn't that big, and it was the only DLC we saw in the entire year. Grand Theft Auto Online, on the other hand, got definitely heavily invested with one of the bigger DLCs they've ever gotten. It even included Dr. Dre and a host of new licensed music that they got for Grand Theft Auto Online. Combining that with the fact the expanded and enhanced is coming in March 2022, they are going full steam ahead with Grand Theft Auto Online. I played the Grand Theft Auto Online update called The Contract, and I thought it was pretty good. There was a lot of nostalgia as they brought back some old characters that we haven't seen since the single player. That said, it was pretty thick and heavy on the cross promotion, and at times it did feel like we were playing an ad for Dr. Dre's new album, and there was a very big executive input on what that DLC should be about. I did enjoy playing it over a weekend, but it still feels like an 8-year-old game. The playing mechanics feel dated. And considering what they called the definitive edition with the Grand Theft Auto trilogy, I don't have high hopes that there'll be a lot of huge improvements for the expanded and enhanced. I think it might be just a new lick of paint, but underneath that paint, it's just going to be an 8-year-old gaming mechanics, and it does feel dated. If they wanted to keep Red Dead Redemption 2 and Red Dead Online relevant on the next gen consoles, they'd have to release a patch out so they'd get the 60 frames on it. It's still a gorgeous game, so it wouldn't need a huge amount of work just to squeeze a lot more life out of it on next gen consoles, but it doesn't even look like Rockstar is going to do that. We all know there's been some high profile changes at Rockstar Studios, and sometimes I do get concerned on whether or not this is still the same company. There could have been a lot of internal changes that we didn't see that have a knock-on effect on the kind of quality and the direction that the games are going. I mean, they used to actually engage with the community a lot more even a few years ago when they used to have live streams. They even live streamed Red Dead Online for a bit. Engaging with their community, having a bit of fun with content creators. Pretty basic stuff for a community manager to do, but we haven't seen any of that in so long. Maybe it's because in their last streams they brought on some dude that couldn't hold his liquor and kind of derailed the whole live stream, or maybe it's because they had modders that were just infesting their streams. In any case, that has not happened since then. Usually a game developer will have 1 or 2 community managers to go out there and engage with the community, and it looks like Rockstar just doesn't have one at the moment. Maybe they're between people, but in any case, fans are not happy and are showing up in droves on Twitter with hashtag save Red Dead Online. But can Red Dead Online be saved? That I'm not sure about, because honestly it would take investment to get Red Dead Online successful, and it genuinely feels that Rockstar is just not going to invest any bit more in Red Dead Online. Fans have been screaming out for lots of content that they wanted added, such as finishing Mrs. Leclerc's story, properties, opening up the map to Mexico and Guarma, plus loads more. But there's a lot of little things that Rockstar could have easily added to the game, which wouldn't have cost a lot, that would have got a lot more life out of the game, such as being able to have a second character. At the moment you can only have 1 character for Red Dead Online. Even Grand Theft Auto Online has the ability to have a second character. If you have a second character, it means you would be able to purchase all of the things again that you need to get up and running with each of the DLC businesses. Plus, if you wanted to really make it a different and unique character from your main character, you'd be purchasing a lot more customization options like clothing that you would not have purchased with your main character anyway. Also, a lot of people that have been playing this game for a while have just a lot of gold and have nothing to spend it on, which is why they get frustrated when Rockstar just recycles content instead of adding new stuff for them to buy. And it's kind of hard to sell someone gold bars if they already have enough gold bars and you're not adding enough content for them to buy. But there is one thing you could do, which is add the option of purchasing gold bars on someone's behalf, like a gift voucher for them that you could just log in to the social club or something and top up somebody else's account using real money. This could be a nice option for someone who wants to give a gift to someone that's in their posse member, for example, or for content creators. It would allow us to hold competitions and give away gold bars in game for prizes. Also, cycling in and out that limited time clothing each week will get people logging in and also spending gold bars when they come in. But all of these options are so obvious and so easy to implement that the only reason they're not implemented is either incompetence or they just aren't interested or care anymore about the future of the game. And I genuinely believe that is the collective sentiment at the moment in the Red Dead Online community. As I said at the start of the video, I think it hit home for me in December that the future of Red Dead Online was very, very bleak, and I think a lot of people now are beginning to come on board and see that now as well, unfortunately. Honestly, I don't know how much effect hashtag save Red Dead Online will make to Rockstar's decisions, but at the very least, the community is letting them know that we actually cared about the game. Also, a little side note for anyone who is on Twitter or going to be posting with the hashtag save Red Dead Online. I know most people know, and this is just common sense, that please do not harass employees of Rockstar Games. There's a lot of hardworking, passionate fans that work at Rockstar Games who are probably just as frustrated about all of this as we are. Please do not stalk people that work there and start messaging them and DMing them asking what's going on. Decisions like this are made at the top tier of the management, and people have very little say or control of what their companies do. That said, the Red Dead Online community is not that toxic. That definitely seems to be a GTA Online kind of thing when stuff like that starts happening, but I thought I'd put that out there in case there's people that are thinking of doing that. Don't do it. This video is really just an explanation of what is going on and a way to tell you my thoughts on all of it. Now I'd love to hear your thoughts on what is happening. What do you think the future of Red Dead Online looks like? Do you think hashtag save Red Dead Online will do anything? And what would you like to see for the future of Red Dead Online? I'd like to thank everyone who does support this channel, as it has been a dedicated Red Dead Online channel for the last number of years. I'll still be covering Red Dead Online, although I will be playing more games on here as well from time to time. Massive thanks especially to the members, you guys are incredible. Alright people, I'll catch you all in the next video.